Hello and welcome to the Winner's Circle. I'm your host, Dr. Sean. So let's continue the conversation on how you can win and how we can win together. Each week we have a guest on the show who cares a lot about what's going on in our society, but who has special expertise in helping us to live the life we want and keep winning. That's the subject today, and we are fortunate enough to be joined by a friend and colleague and somebody who thinks about living the life we want and winning and doing well all the time, Connie Lam. Connie Lam is a Theta Healer, and we have been collaborating for quite some time now, and it's always fun. It's been a while. Connie, welcome to the Winner's Circle. Great to see you.
Hello, Dr. Sean. Thank you so much for having me again. It's always good to come back.
No kidding, no kidding. It's been a while, and I know you've been busy. I've seen you in your posts, and I've been watching your energy, and very excited to hear about what you have in store. I remember recently, Connie, you and I were collaborating and we were exchanging online, and this subject came up, living the life you want. And I thought, wow, this is really wonderful, and it's always great to talk about this. But you were in the midst of helping others when you came up with this point. And the question came up to me, isn't that what most people are doing anyway, living the life they want? And if they're not living the life they want, then what are they doing actually? I wanted to get your take on that.
Yeah, this is a very good question, to be honest. And to my surprise, and perhaps you as well, the people who are surrounding us, if you ask them, not many would tell you that they're happy with their life. So you can see people like surrounding us, they even my friends or even some of my followers, because I keep receiving messages asking me, how can I be more happy? How can I do this? How can I find meaning and purpose in life? You know, there's so many people that are not really living the life they want. So what they're doing every day is they're living in the repeating life patterns. We all have a pattern, right? So people will keep repeating what they're doing every single day without really ask themselves what they want. It feels like they just get used to that lifestyle. They get used to that comfort zone, and they truly forget they do have the power to ask for what they want. It's just kind of like this thing of living what you want is forgotten, by so many people who are living right now in this world. So this is why people that are not really living what they want at this moment that they can. They just forgot about that.
You know, that's a good point, and it reminds me of when I was a kid and I'd be talking with other kids, and these would be people in school or just friends, and we might be laying on our backs looking up at clouds and just talking about the future, what we wanted for ourselves, our dreams and things like that. And it just occurred to me when you were talking that I don't really have so many conversations like that with as many people, you know. I think a lot of us are doing exactly what you're talking about, and we're just living patterns.
I think that you just brought up a really good point. And the point is that when we were young, we all have dreams. Right, because at that time of state, at that age, we are not afraid of doing things. We are not afraid of thinking. We are not afraid of dreaming, because everything just seems possible to all of us. And when we grow up as an adult, because of the environment, as I talk a lot about limiting beliefs, it started to get into our mind, and we started to question everything that we want, if it's possible or not. And that's also why stopping people from chasing their dreams and from really asking themselves what they want. They forgot that.
Wow, you know. And when we're kids, and I'm just imagining a toddler, you know, or even a baby learning to walk. And I think you used this analogy before, when the baby falls down. I think sometimes the grown-ups are like, oh, you know, but the baby's not worried about falling. Many times just to get back up, you know, and grown-ups are around are like, oh,
There's no fear. They keep trying and trying until they get what they want as a baby, right? If they want an ice cream, they will scream to get their ice cream. They will just keep trying and trying. And that
Wow.
is already inside us. And that is a really good point, Dr. Sean. Thank you for bringing this up, because it's really, people really forgotten about that. Yeah.
So yes, at some point then, okay, so we're living the life that we want when we're 6 months old, 8 months old, 10, and then even, 8, 13. At some point, this idea and the belief that we can live the life we want, I guess it gets beaten down maybe by school, society, or something like that. What do you think?
Yes, because if you ask people what they want, you can try to ask your friends what they want. The first thing that they will tell you is what they don't want. This is kind of like a very common reaction. They're not answering your question. They will only tell you what they don't want. So this is also one of the reasons why you don't live the life that you want, because you don't know what you want. Right? You know what you don't want, but not many people truly really know what they want.
You're so right. You're reminding me of several people, and this can be a regular, very everyday and all day scenario. And if I ask a person about their nutrition, they may reply, yes, my nutrition is pretty good. I don't eat fried foods. I don't have alcohol. I don't have processed foods. But the question was about their health, really, and about their nutrition. But mostly what they reply is things that they don't do.
Yeah.
I don't. People don't generally tell me what they do and what they eat that is healthy. And even the people that are not healthy about their, let's say, their health habits, they'll say, "Oh, no, I don't have good health habits. My eating, I eat too much this, I eat too much that." But we don't really think and talk so much about what we really, really want. That's a huge point.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
These patterns also, I remember just recently I was talking to a patient, and she said, I really want to have better health and better nutrition, but really what happens is that I'm going to work, the food that I really think is good for me costs too much, I have to spend so much time at work that if I really try to live the life I want, that there's not much time left in the day. And so people have, we have these ideas about these barriers around us, some associate with work, society, and economic barriers. Now we have a viral barrier, if we will. I think sometimes we're talking ourselves out of living the life we want. How do you approach people like this? And that's a lot of people.
Yeah, majority of people. This I also encounter a lot on this. I think the only thing that really hindering people from living the life that they want is themselves. It really matter of how bad that you really want to live your dream life, right? If you said that I want to have a better health, I want to have more money, I want to have a good relationship, right? This is like what you want, you just say it. When I say what you want, is really something that in your heart, that when you say it, that you feel, oh my God, I really want that. I don't know if you have ever had that kind of feeling that when you want something, you will find your way.
Definitely.
Regardless, you will find your way, you will go to gym, you will do exercise, you will take the proper nutrition that you needed, right? So that is the want that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about I just say I want this, and then I forget about it in the next minute. And this is exactly why people are always complaining about their life. It's not they don't have what they want, or they cannot have what they want. It's they don't want to, that this is the thing. They don't really want to take action to chase or to have or to get what they want. There's so much fear behind, actually. There's a lot of things behind. And the most common thing is the comfort zone. because they feel so comfortable in where they are, even though they might not earning. For example, if they're not earning much, let's say they're living paycheck to paycheck, but they feel just comfortable living in that life. Okay, so if you ask them, okay, this is here as an opportunity for you, you might have to work a little bit harder, or you might have to do something that you've never tried before. Would you like to take it? A lot of people will not want to take it. They will go back to their pattern and keep living the same routine, maybe getting the same lifestyle, paycheck to paycheck, and every day they will just complain about having not enough money, having not enough saving in their account. But if the opportunity even presented to them, they will not take it. So this again go all the way back. Limiting beliefs really plays a huge part in our life on what they really believe they can deserve, or even they believe that people like me will not be able to make more than minimum wages. There's so many people have this kind of thought. Or I don't have a degree, I never have these skills and this and thing and this and that, right?
Right.
But the truth is not. If you really want something, you will always find a way. You will.
Definitely, definitely. You said one word that was key. It caught my attention, and that is sometimes, many times, we don't feel we deserve to have the life that we want. It comes down to an issue of how we value ourselves and our person. Are you seeing this a lot in your practice?
Yes. Many people, many of my clients, they do have the self-worth issues. They don't believe they deserve more. They don't believe that they can achieve what they want. So there's a lot of self-doubt and fear inside them. That's why they feel so struggling. Every time they want to go further, they let their fear or limiting belief just drag them back to where they were. And so it's always like a one step forward and then two step backward. This is like the kind of like a dancing with the reality, but that's why they're so like struggling in life. Yeah.
Wow. I've done this before personally, and I think it was just a combination. This was my own personal story of having reached a certain plateau, and you get busy with life, have kids, and kids' school routine, my work routine, getting up, making coffee, same routine every day, and not really thinking about it. And then the one thing that will change people, and you did make a point of this, is that if you have a crisis and then you're forced to change, to get out of that crisis, you do what you have to do. And that's the point you make. I heard you say, if you really, really want it, you'll find a way. And when I saw myself find a way out of a crisis, and I felt invigorated because I realized I have the power to change things. And it was sitting there all the time. And looking back on how I changed it, pulled things together, talked to the right people were there, I noticed them, they helped me, resources that I didn't even know were available were there. I think that's just a real human moment that we probably have all had, finding ourselves in a crisis.
Yes, and the key point is I really want to spread this message that you don't have to wait for that crisis to happen to force you to change. And that is the least thing that we wanted to happen.
Yes.
Right? You don't want to have a health issue first, get into some troubles first, then they force you to change. Because we can prevent that before all the crises happen. You can change first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it. And I 100% agree. 100% agree.
Because, for example, like my clients, when they come to me, when they have anxiety or depression, so they told me they've been like waiting for too long to get into healing or go to see the doctors. I say, why you wait for so long that the situation gets even worse?
Right.
They say, because I think that I can handle it.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, so many cases like this, and I feel really sad for that. I mean, if you feel that something really going wrong inside you, or even externally, like
Yes.
emotionally inside you, and even things are not happening outside, there's something there that you can get someone to help you, and that can make your journey and your life much easier, and to achieve whatever that you want much faster.
Wonderful, wonderful. Connie, we're going to take
Yeah.
just a brief break, and I want to come back and pick up on just that very point and that same energy that you were talking about right there, things that we can do. We look forward
Sure.
to continuing this discussion in just a few moments after these breaks.
Today's show is sponsored by BCAT, aligning people with their purpose. The Brand and Cultural Alignment Toolkit was designed to bring teams into alignment around their collective purpose and inspire each member to become the best version of themselves in support of the people and communities they serve. Our science-based solution consists of instruments that measure and map and collective perception of your organization's North Star and practical methods that help each member embrace and align with it.
Welcome back to the Winner Circle. I'm your host, Dr. Sean. I think you saw that little cartoon go by. Download the app. We have the Winner Circle Social. It's a community where we continue these conversations that we're having right here. We do it every day. Same energy, same approach generally, living your best life, doing well, winning. We keep it positive all the time. So download that app, TWC Social. And I look forward to continuing this conversation on an ongoing basis with you. We're joined by our friend Connie Lam. She's a Theta Healer, and she has been teaching us and giving us some instructions on how we can live the life that we want. We talked before the break about some of the things that get in the way. We said that how we value ourselves has a big point in that. Also, we get stuck in kind of a rut. Sometimes we've forgotten what's programmed in us as children, even as babies, and then we become adults and we get a little doubtful. Connie, before we welcome back, Connie. Good to see you as always again. And before we went on our break, you were starting to talk about some of the things that we can do, some of the steps that we can take. And I wanted to get your point on this because it's kind of, I know it's where you live. So what are your first points to helping us to live the life that we want?
It is to know what you want.
That's huge.
So this is like it sounds easy, but it's not. So again, when I say to know what you want, is really ask your heart what you really want, what makes your heart sing, and what makes you really, you will get that feeling that is coming not from your head, not just from your mind. No, I just want something, say it casually. But there must be something inside your heart that you really, really want. You need to dig deep inside your heart, and find it out. Because, when we live in life, it's like when you're driving a car. When you get into your car, but you don't have a destination. So you just keep driving around without knowing where you're going, right? That can be tiring and frustrating as well. And that is exactly so many people are living in this situation because they don't have a destination. So you ask yourself, what do you really want? For example, who do you want to become 5 years from now? Or maybe not talking about 5 years, just within 1 year, a lot of things can be changed. Where do you want to be next year today? Who do you want to become? How much more that you want to earn? Or, what makes you happy? You have to keep asking yourself this question to find out what you really want. Otherwise, you can, you cannot, you can't even start the car.
That's right. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Connie, you're raising a good point, and it reminds me of a few years ago, this point of knowing what we want. A few years ago, I had some friends that they were into motorcycle riding. And even my son into motorcycle riding, brothers, lots of friends. I mean, people all around me were into riding motorcycles. And I was never really into it. So it did make me ask the question, how come I'm not into motorcycle riding? But also, what is it that I am into? What is it that I want? I did have some answers, and I really enjoy being around the water, I like going to rivers and lakes and oceans, and that always just makes me feel happy and peaceful. I just love it, And so I thought, really what I would like to do is have a boat. And then I was reminded that I've always wanted a boat, actually. I mean, it was something that I always look forward to if we're driving along on the highway and my family, is there and I see somebody trailing a boat. I'm like, oh my God, I want one of those. Oh, one day. And I was scared to look at boat prices, actually. And so I never even looked into it, but it was what I really wanted. And then I was standing around and somebody was talking about boats, that they had gone from one place to the other place, and then they went to a concert. And they described somebody had bought a boat for like $850. I'm like, what? $850? I can get a boat for $850. So anyway, I think that the first step, though, was defining what it was that I wanted. And once I heard myself say that and I said it to myself, then I was able to hear people talk and describe a scenario that I was able to capitalize on. So I have gotten a boat, but I think that first step, just like what you're saying, was defining what it is that I wanted, what made me happy. And being around water is a big part of that, but boating is a facilitator.
Yeah. Yes, that is great. That's the life that you want, right?
Yeah. So being able to say what it is that we do want. And not, I probably wouldn't have been able to go into this arena just continuing to tell myself, oh, I don't want to ride motorcycles, I don't want that, And you made this point earlier. It's not just focusing on what we don't want, but what we really want. So I like that. I'm glad you offered that. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah. I wonder, on this subject of defining and saying what we want, how granular do you think it has to be? Does it have to be like specific, general? Like, does a person have to say, oh, I want to marry somebody within the next year, or I want kids in the next 4 years? How specific does it have to be, and what's most...
Really, it really depends on the limiting beliefs that you have in your mind. Because if you heard about law of attraction, right? We talked about that before, and manifestation. You can manifest and attract the people or the things that you want in your life in a short time or period, actually. But then if for majority of people, I would say don't get to that far first, because the more that you think too much, you will get so overwhelmed. Yeah, this is the thing also why people they're so afraid of thinking what they want. You actually just gave a great example, because you first thought the boat would be so expensive that you didn't even want to look at the price. Right? You just feel that, oh, I don't want to ruin my dream. I just keep that dream there to believe that the boat, I can one day to have it. If I see the price, I might just tell myself, oh, that's impossible, right? So then I think that would be the second tips is, first, you also have to know what you don't want. For example, how to check what you don't want. It's not just, oh, I don't want to have this or I don't want to have that, but check in all areas in your life, including your relationship, your job, your finances, your career, and your business. What are the things that you keep complaining about? This is coming from the subconscious, because you can easily say, I don't want this, I don't want that, right? But there's a thing that you keep complaining that you don't even aware or realize it. So try to pay attention to the things that you keep complaining about. And that are the things that is like implying something that you're not satisfied in your life or something that you don't want, which means there could be opportunities that can improve it and you can have more, but you are not making it happen for some reason. Yeah, so this is a very important tip. So I would say you can do the exercise, get a piece of paper. Okay, you can write down what I don't want or what I've been complaining about. Journaling is very powerful. You can write down when every time when you have a thought coming in your mind that you're complaining about something. First, ask yourself, why am I complaining these things? Yeah, this is like keep regularly check in with yourself. For example, if you want to buy a luxury car and then you feel that you cannot get one, and you may keep complaining about, or feeling jealous or envious about people who have that car, right? You might say, oh, they're just rich people without whatever, right? You can say anything, but come on, you can get one too. So what is stopping you?
That's right. That's right.
Right? So when you keep asking yourself some right questions, because our subconscious mind is so powerful.
Yes.
If you just say, oh, I cannot afford it, or I'm not, I can't do this, that's stop. That you actually put your life in that repeating patterns.
Right.
You're not going to move forward. But if you ask yourself how I can do that, right? For example, like Robert Kiyosaki, the author of the book Rich Dad and Poor Dad, he always say that if you go somewhere, you see something expensive, and you just tell yourself, oh, I can't afford it, and you will never be able to afford it.
Right.
But if you ask yourself, how can I afford it? Your mind, your subconscious mind, and the universe will start to show you the way and give you some, and open the doors, show you some opportunities. Like your boat was a great example. Just by chance, you overheard people told you that, right?
That's
Your
right.
friend told you that.
Yes.
And in 50, yeah, I can do that. It's yours.
That's right. Your energy,
Yeah.
your energy about these things, Connie, is so infectious, and that's why it's always so fun to talk to you, because you get excited, and then you're very inspiring, and so I really appreciate your being on, and I think that
because I really believe we can have what we want. I just want everyone to get what they want, because that's what we deserve.
that's what we deserve. Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. Connie, I want our viewers to find you and follow you just like I do. Okay. What's the best way that people can find you and be able to link up with you and receive the same energy that I receive when I follow you and get the inspiration, and reach out to you also personally?
You can find me on Instagram. Is You Can Be Healed. That's my handle, and then you can connect with me there. That's the fastest and easiest way, and I reply to all the DMs. And feel free to follow me or ask me any questions. I will be more than happy to help you.
Excellent, Connie. Wonderful. I appreciate you so much as usual, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll look forward to connecting. And to you in the Winner Circle, that was fun, right? A wonderful conversation. A conversation that we can all benefit from, that we all have wealth, we all have personal value, we have it within us, we deserve to win, we deserve to have the life that we want. And here you heard some very important points about how we think regularly and how we can think and how that can change the life that we have. We look forward to joining you next week right here, RVN TV, and wherever you found this message. Take care, guys. Until then, keep winning.